Good evening. This is CTV News for Tuesday, August 13th. I'm Patricia Vallone.
And I'm Makia Turner. Glad to have you with us. Consider this. There are 800 water main breaks in the United States every day. These incidents cause stress on commuters, businesses, and ultimately hurt the economy. Today, U.S. Senator Ben Cardin met with officials from the Washington Suburban Sanitary Commission to discuss federal options for improving our nation's aging infrastructure. CTV's Sonia Srivastava has more from Laurel.
Who can forget scenes like these? This major water main break on River Road in 2008 caused major issues and threatened lives. And just last month, hundreds of thousands of southern Prince George's County residents were on the brink of being without water for up to 5 days while crews repaired a 54-inch water main that was on the brink of failure.
I'm just tired of opening up the morning paper, reading about another water main break and seeing an economic area closed or residential communities doing without water.
Today, Maryland Senator Ben Cardin came to visit a water plant and meet with WSSC officials in Laurel. Cardin says water infrastructure is just as important as transportation, saying several cities have water pipes that are more than 100 years old. Cardin says he plans to introduce 2 bills in Congress in September, one which will offer matching grants to help local communities upgrade their systems.
The EPA has estimated that in the next 20 years, the shortfall in water infrastructure is about $600 billion. That's a lot of money, $600 billion shortfall. So we need to do more. Every dollar we spend on water infrastructure will help our economy and will create jobs.
WSSE CEO Jerry Johnson says his agency is regulated through strict guidelines from the EPA, but layered on top of that are some federal regulations that leave them strapped for cash.
We have something called a consent decree, which is requiring us to go back in a very limited time frame and make repairs in the wastewater system. That's the other side. On the wastewater system that is a result of years of not having done appropriate maintenance. And that started off as a $300 million project. Now it's a project that's north of $1.6 billion. And so those expenses are typically picked up by the ratepayers because we don't get state and federal assistance.
Cardin acknowledged that the issue has garnered support from Republican colleagues, but says ultimately everything comes down to money and balancing the budget. In Laurel, Sonia Srivastava for CTV News.
The National Association of Utility Contractors estimates that $1 billion in water infrastructure investment can create more than 26,000 jobs.
A female driver is injured when her car overturns on a Beltway ramp and plunges into the water. The incident happened about 11:30 this morning on the ramp from the outer loop to northbound Interstate 95. Emergency crews say the woman's car plunged 20 to 30 feet off of the ramp and landed on a creek bed. Officials say the rescue was challenging, but crews reached the driver and transported her to a hospital. The woman, who is estimated to be about 30 years old, suffered non-life-threatening injuries. She was the only one injured in the crash. Well, by now you probably know that classes are about to start again in Prince George's County. AAA Mid-Atlantic is reminding drivers to be extra careful on the roads and watch out for children. A statewide survey conducted last spring shows that in one day, more than 3,300 motorists failed to stop for school buses. In light of such violations, Montgomery County placed cameras on the stop arms of the buses to catch drivers who break the law. Prince George's is expected to do the same.
And by the way, the school bus ride is not the most dangerous part of the day for school kids. It's getting on and off the bus. And if you ignore the stop sign, you are putting kids' lives in danger. So Prince George's County and Montgomery County are on the cutting edge of adopting new technology, which is the stop arm camera that will detect when drivers ignore the stop arm. It comes with a fine, but it's not as hefty a fine as it would be if a police officer were to catch you ignoring the stop arm.
Currently, drivers who pass school buses that are stopped could pay fines of up to $250 in Montgomery County.
An elementary school music teacher out of Silver Spring is facing 14 counts of sex abuse of a minor and several other charges. Montgomery County Police say Lawrence Joynes sexually abused more than a dozen students in his New Hampshire Estates classroom. The victims include children in kindergarten through the 2nd grade. Officials say the 54-year-old made the students imitate sexual gestures while he touched them inappropriately. The alleged abuse dates back to 2005. In February, authorities found child pornography at his home and in his classroom. Joynes also faces a second-degree rape charge stemming from alleged abuse that took place in the 90s. Well, despite recent improvements in the housing market, the foreclosure crisis still hits home for some residents in the community. Mary Ann Dillon is the executive director of the Housing Initiative Partnership. The nonprofit creates housing and economic opportunities for low to middle income residents. Dillon talks about a few services that aim to help struggling homeowners avoid foreclosure.
We have a three-pronged approach. We have foreclosure workshops, which we have several times a month, both here in Hyattsville and also in our Montgomery County offices. Families can come in for the workshops and get an orientation as to what's required to come in to meet one-on-one with our foreclosure prevention counselors to try and work out a solution that can work for you, because everyone's circumstances are different. Once you've gone through that, we will work with you as long as it takes to get some kind of solution for you. And then we go to our third prong, which is our bounce back program, which will help build your financial health so that you don't fall into this problem again.
Dillon also shares advice on how to avoid getting caught up in a scam.
We've seen a tremendous increase in scamming activity. If you get a letter in the mail that looks official, maybe it looks like it comes from HUD or the federal government saying we can help you with foreclosure, don't believe it, throw it away. It is very important for consumers to know that it's illegal in the state of Maryland to charge an upfront fee for these services. Our services are given to you at no charge.
For more information on HIP services, you can call 301-699-6262 or log on to hiphomes.org.